Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all like y'all rocking with me. And for this video, I got a murder case that turns into a triple murder case. We're just gonna jump right into it. February 2nd, 2018. 911 received a call from a gardener working for Sun-Grown Citrus in Winter Haven, Florida. He discovered a body while checking the groves. Polk County deputies arrived on scene and verified the body was a white male laying in tall grass. His lower body exposed as his upper body seemed to have had grass pulled over it in an attempt to cover him. He was identified as 47-year-old Douglas Bowling. The next day, an autopsy was performed. The victim had numerous areas of injury and trauma. His left arm had a laceration between the elbow and armpit, measuring 9 inches in length. The right hand gruesomely amputated at the joint of his wrist. These injuries were determined to have occurred post-mortem. There were 6 Walmart bags covering the victim's head, twisted under his neck, then twisted and tucked under the bags to hold it secure. Once the bags were removed, more lacerations were visible. 5 on the top left of his head, 1 slash across his forehead, another by the victim's left eye. Each of the slashes were L-shaped with the exception of one that was straight. His brain had bled. His top teeth fractured or missing. A broken bone in his throat signifying he'd been choked. The cause of death was multiple injuries. The manner, homicide. Douglas was a homeless man, known for riding his bike and staying in homeless camps across Winter Haven. His bike described as a blue mongoose with front and rear shocks, parts mismatched, one tire bigger than another and pieced together by him. Interviews with others at the camps he occupied led to detectives identifying Christopher Taylor and Christina Sluss as the victim's associates. Record checks and witness statements then led deputies to an address, 1830 Avenue O, Apartment A. Making contact with the associates, they immediately asked deputies if they were there because of information they gave a cop about Doug the previous night. Christopher telling detectives he and Christina moved into the apartment approximately 4 weeks ago. His brother Gary living directly below them in apartment B. Christopher said the last time he saw Doug was on the 10th, 2 days before his body was discovered. He'd come to his apartment wanting a ride to the bank. Christopher telling him no, he was tired and didn't want to go right now. Doug leaving, said he'd be back, but never returned. Christopher then described the blue bike, saying he hadn't seen it since he last saw Doug. He found out Doug was dead through his brother, 2 days after the body was found. As the deputy spoke with Christopher, another deputy noticed a disassembled blue mountain bike behind the apartment. He said it belonged to his brother, had been there since they moved in. Deputies confronting him with information. Christopher admitted he'd lied, saying he bought the bike from the victim 3 days before his body was found, his brother taking it apart to paint it black. Given consent for his vehicle to be searched, deputies went through the 4-door Kia. Trash and miscellaneous items scattered throughout, including gift cards, receipts, and Walmart bags. A piece of grass was seen stuck in the bottom of the grill on the driver's side, grass consistent with the area of where the body was found. A very small smear of blood seen on the exterior of the driver's door and on the inside of the driver's exterior door handle. The vehicle was then towed to the crime scene warehouse. Christopher Thomas was placed under arrest for providing false information during a capital homicide investigation. The Walmart bags inside of the vehicle had manufacturing and production markings, as well as lot numbers, similar to how a firearm has a serial number. These lot numbers match the bags found tied around the victim's head. A cellular data extraction of Christopher's phone revealed recent Google searches for news for Polk County and a headline titled "Man's Body Found Near Orange Grove in Polk County." February 18th. Detectives made contact with Christina and Christopher's brother Gary. Gary said on the 10th, the victim came to the house wanting to go to the bank. Christopher telling him no several times. Doug wouldn't stop asking. Christina was in bed at the time and heard a loud thud. Getting up, she says she saw Christopher with a skillet in his hand beating Doug until the skillet broke. He threw it down, grabbing another one, screaming, "Nobody fucks with my family." Christopher then told Christina to go get Gary, telling him Christina was beating the shit out of Doug. When Gary came upstairs, there was a dark shower curtain around Doug's head. Christopher asked him where Gary's bat was. Gary going back downstairs, bringing the aluminum bat back up, handing it off as ping sound started to come from the bat, making contact with Doug's skull. Christopher tried to get Christina to help move Doug, who was knocked out, into the kitchen, but she refused. Then he woke up, screaming for Christopher to stop as he said he was only trying to help. He got up trying to run to the door, but was tackled back down. Christopher now on top of him, beating him, laughing, as Doug said, "I'm sorry," before being knocked out again. Dragged into the living room, he woke up again, now crying profusely. It was so loud the neighbors next door came outside and into their driveway. Gary going down to talk to them, saying Christina and Christopher were arguing again. Christopher told the victim, "Shut the fuck up or I'm gonna finish you," as he laid on his stomach face on the floor. Then putting a belt around his neck, Christina could hear a gurgling noise as Doug struggled to breathe, his body moving, then still. He started gurgling again. Whether he was consciously trying to breathe or his body was fighting to stay alive, trash bags were wrapped around his head to further suffocate him as his now dead body was placed in the tub. Gary and Christina helping as they washed the body down with bleach, and after, they went to a diner to eat. The next day, they bag his body and throw him into a dumpster. Christina and Gary denied knowing about Doug's body being mutilated or amputated. Then both stated Christopher beat him to death for approximately 1.5 to 2 hours before he died. Christopher Taylor was already under arrest for tampering with evidence, now charged with first-degree murder. Christina Sluss and Greg Taylor were both charged with accessory after the fact and tampering with evidence. While they were in jail, Christopher and Christina surprised everyone when they gave information connecting them to 3 more murders. Before moving to Florida, they lived in South Carolina with Christina's mom, close to a home where a couple and a man were found dead, which led to charges of murder, armed robbery, and possession of a weapon during a violent crime for the couple. September 20th, 2019. Christopher Taylor pled guilty to murder, avoiding the death penalty the state was originally seeking. Also pleading guilty to tampering with evidence, a stabbing inside of the South County Jail, and introducing contraband into a facility. The lesser sentences are to run concurrent with his life sentence. Sluss remains in custody, while Gary was released on the conditions he lived with his parents and continued receiving weekly mental health treatment, as he had been found incompetent. Man, after finding out how long they tortured this dude for, to me it was similar to a TOH, a test of hot, which is something that happens at the JIT camps, you know what I'm saying? Where a new person will come in and they just beat the fuck out of them relentlessly to see how much torture they can take. They're poking them up, they're stomping on their head, they're hitting them with locks, all sorts of madness. And you know, some people get accidentally fucked up, and there was a kid at Lancaster that ended up dying. To hear that he was beat for 1.5 to 2 hours, it's similar to prison when, you know, the COs, they're not doing a round for a certain amount of time. You know how much time you have to flip this person continuously. It's the same thing in confinement. You're one-on-one in the room with somebody, they do their round, you start flipping them. You know when the person's gonna come back, put them on their bunk, the CO leaves, start flipping them again. It's like I want to say I can't imagine, but I can imagine. Because I've seen things that I wasn't a part of, and I've heard the sounds and the noises that come from the human body, not the human consciousness. It's not you doing it because you're making the noise, it's your body reacting to the brutalization. It's fucking nasty, to be honest with you. And you know, I smoked a little something before I did this video. I'm researching this shit. I'm like, this shit nasty as hell. They amputated his fucking hand. Like, for what? He's already dead. What the fuck are you cutting shit off for? It just turned into something that I didn't expect. And then they go to jail and they're talking about 3 more bodies that they caught in South Carolina. Like, oh, now you a serial killer. Y'all real fucking crazy. And they came from Polk County. This is the meth capital of the world. You know what I'm saying? When we went to prison, if you were from Polk County and you hit a JIT camp, them COs would always, oh, you from the meth capital of the world, son. Like, it's wild out there. So I don't know if that's what they were getting into, knowing that they're on the streets, homeless and shit. I don't doubt it, but he skated, I guess. He got to avoid death. He's got life. And he obviously doesn't care if he's committing crimes like that. As far as the younger brother, though, that was found incompetent, I don't know if he's retarded or what, but he's like 2 years younger than me. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I mean, there's got to be some form of punishment or a mental institution, but maybe the coronavirus is saving them and they released them. Because accessory after the fact to a first-degree murder charge, you can be punished by life still. So I don't understand how he got out. And then the girl, she's going to have to plead. She's going to have to get that life sentence to avoid whatever they're trying to do to her. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with Charlie. Y'all rocking with me. Till next time.